In what is probably its biggest statement of intent, Premier Soccer League newcomers Scotland FC have signed former national team skipper, Knowledge Musona. Musona, who has had stints in South Africa, Belgium and Saudi Arabia, was unveiled at halftime of his new employer's clash against Yada Stars FC. And for effect, it was legendary commentator Charles Mabika, who was tasked with making the groundbreaking announcement. It had been one of the worst-kept secrets since the transfer window opened, fueled by his release by the Saudi Arabian club he played for until recently. The transfer, which adds spice to Scotland's stated ambition of one day representing Zimbabwe in continental competitions, will finally give Musona a chance to kick it in the Zimbabwean top flight for the first time in his career. Rising from the dusty pitches of St. Eric High School and the Norton Area Zone Soccer League back in his breakout years, he was snapped by Aces Youth Soccer Academy, his stepping stone to a successful stint in the South African Premiership, without ever playing for a local Premier Soccer League side. At Scotland, he also reunites with AYSA teammate Kama Biliat, and will also get to play with his younger brother Walter Musona, in the same club for the first time. It's quite a special moment for him, you know. Soon after Scotland were formed, storming into the top flight at the first attempt, club owner and legislator Scott Sakopwanya outlined a vision of it becoming Zimbabwe's answer to Moise Katumbi's TP Mazembe in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's a bold dream, isn't it? Knowledge. Musona's return to the Zimbabwe club soccer scene, for the first time since Aces Youth Soccer Academy scouted him from Norton and sent him to Kaizer Chiefs in South Africa, has an interesting subplot. It's like a full circle moment for him, really. The smiling assassin, undeniably Zimbabwe's most loved soccer star after Peter Ndlovu, has a love-hate relationship with his childhood hometown in Mashonaland West Province. The unfortunate relationship dates back to long before Norton was blessed with its own Premier League team, right through a period when, during his prime in Belgium, he seemed to snub his hometown at every turn. From turning down a Norton Achievers Award in 2019, to hosting his wedding in Harare when everyone was itching for a mother of all weddings in Ngoni Stadium, he never really returned to Norton with the same smile the world named him for. When he left for Kaizer Chiefs, Dynamos and Highlanders were the go-to clubs in Zimbabwe, but he comes back to change circumstances. Circumstances aptly captured in a recent emotional statement by his new coach, Tonderai Indiraya. During a recent post-match interview, he actually lamented why people hated Scotland so much, wondering if something happened in Division 1. True, currently Zimbabwe's biggest club rivalry dates back to the 2024 Second-Tier League, when Musona's new club and his hometown's favorite went head-to-head for a place in the top flight. MWOS fans still feel their club has a score to settle after being forced to purchase promotion while Scotland presented the championship trophy to President E.D. To some at Moudzanaudzana, Musona's signing for Scotland represents another invasion into their territory by their bitter rivals, while to many Nortonians in general, it is further proof that Musona is still not passionate about his hometown. But again, it is such ugly tales which honestly contribute to the beauty of soccer.
The Zimbabwe Women's Premier Soccer League, or ZWPSL, is set for some positive shakeups after recently ushering a new executive board into place. Heading the new board is chairperson Chido Chizondo, who won a two-horse contest with Cole Ntokoziso Moyo, getting 13 votes to Moyo's 3. Deputizing Chizondo is Louis Mujara, who was unopposed. In separate statements outlining their priorities seen by the Norton Times, Chizondo and Mujara focused on sponsorship and player development, signaling prioritization of the two issues by the incoming executives. The issue of player development is, honestly, paramount to Zimbabwe improving its standing amongst other nations in world football, especially when it comes to the women's game, which is lagging light years behind their male counterparts. Among the contributors in a system that is, unfriendly to the development conveyor belt, is an almost universal disrespect of soccer academies by the new crop of moneybag clubs. These have surprisingly forgotten that the goose which lays the golden egg must be treated as an endangered species. By poaching talented players using the bait of funded lunch and luxury transport, they are contributing to the eventual death of the academies churning out that talent. In the current season, a sizable number of young and promising female footballers, some of them national team material, have been denied an opportunity to showcase their skills in leagues because of transfer disputes emanating from bullying tactics by rich professional clubs who are not keen to compensate academies for their years of coaching work. To many of these academies, reading Chizondo mention development as a priority must have been sweet news. Weighing in, Vice Chairperson Mujara was reported mentioning that the new board would go full throttle forward in hunting for the elusive sponsorship deal for the top-flight league. The current state of affairs, where clubs must dig deep in their own pockets to fund participation in a competition not offering any incentive for excelling, is not tenable. The corporate world's continued apathy to the women's game when FIFA policy is gearing the world towards a same-pay regime in football is unfortunate gender violence. Women are consumers of the same products, attracting huge, in Zimbabwean terms, deals to the men's leagues.
Throughout the first round of the season, a theory has been circulated that top goal scorers have largely benefited from an easy target, a Red Buffalo Soccer Academy. It's not disputed that the Rusape-based Zimbabwe Women's Premier Soccer League debutantes have found the going tough against almost every team in the league except, well, fellow strugglers, Black Mamba's Queens. The two had conceded in all their matches until they played out a 0-0 draw on matchday 15, and at the end of the first round, they had both scored a measly 5 goals. However, it's their defensive records which, really set them apart. While Mambas have let in 45 goals, Buffalo has conceded a whopping 104. So, how would the top goal scorers chart look like without Buffalo goals? It turns out Bethel Kondo's lead would be safe. She has been phenomenal, with or without goals scored against Buffalo. What about the other scorers? Without Buffalo goals, 3 players would crash out of the current top 11. These are Tanya Radzwa Chihoro from Meningi, Charity Karuru from Platinum Royals, and Felicitas Moudzanaudzana from Black Rhinos Queens. They would be replaced by Magirl Sapini from Harare City Queens, Privilege Mupedi from Black Rhinos Queens, and Natasha Benza from Herentals Queens.
So, 2025 Premier Soccer League surprise packages Moz FC have actually gone for 4 matches without a win. Not much ado about it really for a team whose target is, fighting relegation. For all intents and purposes, they've already won that fight. However, in sport, competitive sport, you are always, honestly, only as good as your last triumph, and the next win is celebrated like a first. In soccer especially, the 7th goal in a 7-0 win is celebrated just like the first. That means, achieving is just the creation of a hunger for even more achievement. Undeniably, the punters, or Moudzanaudzana, as the Norton side are affectionately known, have already achieved quite a lot. 40 points at the halfway stage was actually higher than what the past 2 champions managed at that stage. That in fandom was enough to instill a belief that nothing was impossible. During that amazing run, the Lloyd Mutasa coached side went for 16 matches without a defeat, never conceding in 2 consecutive matches. That is, until matchday 16, that breach by Caps United coming after a 2-2 draw at Triangle went untalked about because it was still a win. Then came matchday 17, a 3-1 drubbing at Ngezi Platinum Stars, marking the first time this season that Moz had lost, but the first time they had conceded in 3 consecutive matches. They have already beaten that record in the 6-match-old second half of the campaign. Having already lost at home for the first time in about 2 years, the matchday 23 draw against Herentals College marks the first time they have conceded in 4 consecutive matches. The question among many is what has happened to a defense which has been a symbol of strength ever since Mutasa took over. It seems a lot has happened or changed. Is happening or changing. Suddenly goalkeepers are being rotated, captains are being rotated. Has Mutasa suddenly lost faith in the back third? Is fatigue finally catching up with the rear third? Whatever the case, one thing is hidden in plain sight. Mauz's rear third is not the same one which made everyone believe in the first round. it is recruiting a lot of disbelievers and nurturing an equal number of unbelievers.